Hello, Gravy Tim. Why do I need to be reminded of my own failure in life? Hello, Gravy Timmies, and welcome back to Focus to Z, where we're trying out all the nations with focus trees in Hoi 4 and doing all their weird paths that no one realistically ever does. And in today's episode, going from the little A to the letter Z, well, funnily enough, we're back in Brazil, which we only recently played for the first time. So it's going to be a little bit tricky to really have the whole point of the series today, being that I've only ever played Brazil once before now with their brand new focus tree. So I guess I'm just going to pick the one that looks the worst. And you know, after doing my research of 12 seconds on Reddit, it seems like the majority of people in Brazil either do the monarchist path, because that's kind of what Brazil was known for in their entire history, having a monarchy, and then not having a monarchy. Oh, and football, but I can't find the football focus tree. And the other one that people seem to do a lot of is the communist path and establishing the ULASR, which means we're not doing that. So yeah, the paths I'm kind of eyeing up here was either the democratic path or the historical path or the alt-historical path, where we go the integralists over here. Now, I think I'm going to go with the integralists and go all the way over to the right, because going down here and doing the good neighbor policy is what we already did already, so I might as well do something a little bit different, I guess. Now, as we know from my last video on Brazil, they can get pretty gosh darn powerful as soon as you get rid of all the bad things about your nation. But in all fairness, I think Paradox did go around and do a whole bunch of nerf to the South American nations, which is just amazing, so you have even less of a reason to come down here and play. But I guess we'll find out today if it's still worthwhile giving them a go, especially a path that I don't think the majority of people will actually do. Oh, I had a focus to annex Uruguay, and I actually annexed Uruguay. That's gonna save me a couple men. Well, bad news if your name is Getulio, as you are no longer leading the nation of Brazil. You have been replaced by Plinio. I'm sure he's definitely a very trustworthy looking fellow. So unsurprisingly, like every South American nation I've really played so far, I'm just rushing down all of the land taking options that I can, because earlier you do it, the easier it is to take all these guys. Plus, on top of that, you can also just hit a button to recruit militias into your army, so I already have quite a few troops to overrun my enemies. Not that they're currently aware that I'm actually their enemy just yet. Now, I love how my flag is just E. Okay, first act of aggression, bar the Uruguay thing, they accepted willingly, therefore not aggression, is going to be invading Argentina, which I don't think they're going to come as willingly. Okay, it's definitely not going to be a easy war, because we do have to push the Argentinians in some non-favorable terrain, but as soon as we get the breakthrough, I think if we take this province right here, we should be fine, hopefully. Oh, never mind. They're doing me a favor by attacking me first. I cannot complain about that one. Yeah, so I'm just gonna let them tire themselves out, and then I guess I'll give them a go. Argentina, Chile, Paraguay, Bolivia, Peru. Also, I'm like, I don't even know what color this is now. I'm this color. Okay, and lastly, Ecuador. That's all we're going to be conquering for the moment. Okay, and that's pretty much all the boring stuff in South America done. We will probably go ahead and conquer the rest, but I do actually need to prepare, because that is going to all the allies at this point, as if, because these guys are, well, these guys are democratic. I could probably actually get Venezuela if I wanted to risk the terrain over here. But yeah, no, I think I'll save Venezuela and not bother with that. We will get Colombia at some point, though, and then also push them out of the Guianas, but gonna have to wait a little bit. Okay, now, cool thing about going integralist Brazil, or now we are America do Sul, is unlike when I did my other integration of South America as Brazil last time, it costs only 20 political power. Last time it was 75 each, so you can core all of South America way quicker as this guy. Well, other than Paraguay, who I got from my focus, and now just my puppet, I guess. And I reckon I could probably just join the Axis at this point and probably turn the tide already, but I have a better plan, because if you actually go down here, you can see we get a little bit of a buff over here to submarines. I mean, you get 10 German submarines out of nowhere, and then you get Silvio de Noronha and 3 others, and they all gain Seawolf and submarine attack 20%. That sounds pretty good to me. So what I'm going to do now is just rush all the submarine stuff I can, and then when I join the Axis, I'm just going to unleash my horde of submarines on the world. Yeah, the general plan for us is to cripple the Allies by sheer annoyance. And because of the absolute powerhouse that is my economy from getting all of South America cored that quickly and that cheaply, I'm gonna have a lot of submarines. Oh, this is amazing. Look, all my admirals just all got Seawolf immediately. So I'm just gonna get these guys pumping out. These aren't exactly the best submarines just yet, but we will upgrade them and they will still do a lot of damage. So as soon as I've got this supply hub up and running, we will be joining and hopefully making a big impact here, because I think it's time for us definitely to make an impact. Okay, this is gonna be the moment of truth. I have 31 of these submarines ready to go, and they did manage to kick them out of Italy for the most part. So I think the best way for us to use these guys immediately is to put them over here and just raid all of the supply coming in from this side. And also just in the Mid-Atlantic and the Denmark Strait, because again, with this being deep oceans, we get a visibility bonus for our submarines as well, which is very nice. Now we can just cut as much supply off from the Americans as well going into Europe. That'd be amazing. Okay, yeah, we also need to somehow push them out of South America over here, which is going to be tricky. I do have a few planes. They're not exactly the best, but hopefully they do. But anyway, moment of truth. Yeah, look at them go. Look at them go. Okay, next up in my grand plan, I've got a few of the submarines also raiding over here, stopping them coming into Guyana, which should hopefully help with supply. Also, I am logi bombing them with my crappy little cats. But they are absolutely decimating just all of the supply over here. The convoys are getting sunk. Just look at that. We've already destroyed 155 convoys. Wait, 218, sorry, altogether. That's insane. And the best part is that isn't even my final form. I'm absolutely just infantry smashing into them down here, and our cast is the only thing getting us a push going, but look what we've got cooking here. Best part is, as soon as they retreat, if they ever managed to retreat from this port, they got met with my submarines. Hey, there you go. You're not gold. That's 28 American units right there. Okay, casualty-wise, I think, yep, that's 500,000 Americans not going home. And our beautiful level 4 submarines are now ready, so we're going to get those building and replacing our old ones. But even so, our level 3 ones are still just absolutely decimating any convoy going around the seas. Hey! That's disgusting. Hey, now, obviously, we can't just sit around pirating the Allies into the ground. We will still have to do a bit of offensive action here, even though this is getting absolutely hilariously fun. So the plan obviously is going to have to be pushing through Colombia and then up into Central and North America eventually, but still going to need to reform the armed forces a bit. They're not exactly up to scratch, you can tell from that cavalry division right there. Okay, now we do still have our war goal on the Colombians from our focus, so we're going to use that and hopefully not fail completely here. Now, we could also take out Venezuela, but that also means I then have to take these islands over here, and yeah, I really don't want to. Also, I can't because my army's not very good at river crossings. But no, I just don't want to, you know? Alright, so I'm being about as annoying as I physically can without becoming a streamer on Kick, and I think we're doing quite the impact for the Allies' war here, as everything seemingly has come to a halt. I'm also raiding over here now on the coast as well, so getting into the Med for them is getting a little bit tricky. Now, sadly, I don't have any war goals for the rest of these guys, so I'm going to have to do all this one manually. That's fine, though. It just means I have more time to appreciate how much fun it is to fight in Central America. Pro tip, it's the funnest of fun a fun boy can have while having fun. Who'd have thought, right? Wiping out almost 7,000 convoys of the Allies has hindered their war effort completely. Now, I also like how at some point I got one of their battleships somewhere. No idea here where El Salvador just joined the Axis. What the hell? Yo, what's that meme? It's like, Blood thinks he's on the team. You know, considering how much I have crippled everyone in this game, I am surprised that this is all Japan has done. Hey, they haven't even got the peace out with China through the event or anything. They are still at war. They're just this bad. Oh, congratulations to me. I no longer have a Paraguay in me. I also couldn't really build in them, so I've just built level 10 forts all over Paraguay, so it's the most defended place in my country. Oh, I just realized, after finishing my doctrine and also getting the bonus from the focus tree, I can have up to 589 mountaineers in my divisions, which equates with my current template to around 60 divisions plus 24 more, so 84 mountaineer divisions. And yeah, these are also like proper mountaineer divisions. So that's pretty good. Certainly not the prettiest invasion of America, but it's definitely getting the job done, kind of. And there she blows. Pretty damn nice. Okay, that only cost me 3 million Brazilians, but in all fairness, I have a lot of South America cord. It's probably not all Brazilians, just the majority of them. Okay, next up, all we need to do, from what I can tell, is just capitulate the UK, and that's the Allies done with, and I don't think there's going to be much fight left in the Soviets, even though they've been stalemated over here from the starvation for a long time. Well, you know, I am kind of struggling though with chromium. I gotta import a lot of it, so I think before we do go over to Europe, I might just visit the Bank of Cuba. Shout out Japan, they capitulated the Philippines finally. They also lost Okinawa. And there goes Cuba. Also, talk about taste of your own medicine. I got raided by American submarines getting over here. Okay, so now that I know submarines are on the table, my fleet isn't exactly up to snuff with dealing with that, so I'm going to spam out a whole bunch of naval bombers because we're going to have to invade the UK now. Okay, so I don't have marines, and this seems like it's going to be a hard nut to crack. Yeah, an unforeseen circumstance for me raiding the UK's convoys means their entire army isn't around the world, it's stuck on their island. Oh, and the game is absolutely chogging at this point. It is definitely struggling to manage what's happening in the game. Out of interest, what are the casualties? Okay, the casualties are a lot better than I thought they'd be, but at the same time, the Soviets are so close to capitulating. I don't know how they haven't already. Oh god, look, there's millions of them defending the UK. I haven't researched nukes at all, so this is gonna be a hard one. Okay, Spain, that was not a very smart naval invasion, gotta say. It doesn't look like all their ports are that garrison, though. It just seems like they've got them kind of over here, which is where the AI usually does like their D-Days from. So it probably is still programming right now to land in Europe, which means I think we could just go ahead and take Portsmouth. And good news is their air force is already just completely destroyed, along with pretty much everything else, so this actually isn't going to be too difficult, I reckon. Most difficult part is trying to stay awake while I wait for these naval invasions to be finished. It's gonna... I just leave for a bit, I think. So I reckon I could get the Soviets capitulated just by putting down some supply hubs for the Germans, just to actually let them push. And at this point, it's not like I really have any use for my 929 factories. The worst part is, if this naval invasion fails, I now need to sit around for it to redo again. A moment of truth, I suppose. We got the landing. I'm just hoping all these troops don't just rush on over here, but I think it should be fine. You know, just in case, I'll build a few more ports to make it easier next time. Alright, Brazilian armor has arrived. Yeah, as the offensive is going as well, I've just brought over a bunch of my submarines as well, so when the UK starts deploying out of those ports, well, they're not gonna make it out. Oh, this is just tragic. Oh, tragic for them. Absolutely prestigious for the nation of Brazil. London has fallen. We're going to go ahead and put a giant statue of Jesus riding a submarine right in the middle of it. Oh, it seems my supply hubs in the Soviets have helped out as well. They're actually making a really weird breakthrough in the south here. And there they go. All I'm taking is America first off, because we are actually pretty even on our points, even though Japan, I feel like, not 100% deserving of your ones. Okay, not bad at all. Sadly, not perfect, but not the worst peace deal I've ever seen. Oh, and of course, to triple celebrate my victory, I will integrate Cuba. Now, the final question is, will the Germans manage to actually capitulate the Soviets here? Oh, God. What happened to the Germans? I mean, looking at the German equipment stockpiles right now, I don't know how they're struggling this much. They do have supply. Sorry, they did have supply. They've already munched through it all, so they should be able to finish these guys up pretty easy. Yeah, but I also feel like I definitely missed something with what happened to the German stability and war support this game. I mean, they're up to 98% now. Surely any second they'll be done. Love the idea that behind the German offensive, there's just millions of South Americans just building railways and supply depots. Oh. And they did it. Oh, I thought they might do something ridiculous in the peace deal, but nope, they just took the lot. Oh, you know what? Considering I went into doing this Brazil focus tree, a little bit skeptical that how good it would really be, considering it didn't give a few of the buffs and the bonuses that I got from the other tree. Actually, it was way better. Obviously, with this series being trying out the unexpected types of focus tree, expecting them to be bad, this one was definitely not bad. In fact, it was very, very good. Coring all of South America that cheaply is just insane, especially because I'm getting so much political power just the entire game. Even when I'm doing a focus, I'm still getting quite a bit, like 1.9. Like, that is not bad at all. So I had plenty of political power. Of course, I'm not too sure why integrating the states in this side of the focus tree cost 20 when the other side was 75. But you know what? I ain't gonna question it. It's Paradox after all. Sometimes, you know, they do questionable things. Hey, but yeah, that was definitely an interesting game, and I think I made it a lot more fun and enjoyable by just doing the meme of the submarines everywhere. That crippled the Allies completely. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Focus to Z. Next up, I actually don't know who will be playing. It's probably someone starting with a C. It could be Chile. Oh, I just checked. No, it is definitely not Chile. We have a couple B's and a C to get through before we get over there. But next up, we'll be looking at India. Oh, and in all fairness, the Indian tree isn't exactly good. So we went from a really overpowered fun game to a not so fun game, I imagine. I'll catch you all in the next one, though. Leave a like, subscribe down below.